Hello, everyone. Sarah Picaro here. Today's video is one that you're going to want to stick around for if you are wondering why you are drawn to such selfish and narcissistic people. We're going to cover 4 reasons why you are attracted to narcissists and how to change your pattern of being attracted to such selfish people, to narcissists. So because I'm a woman, I'm coming from a woman's perspective. I am going to be speaking from a woman's perspective. I will try and keep it gender neutral because it's not just narcissists or men who are narcissists. It's not just women who are narcissists. It's not a gender type of thing. So if you are someone, whether you're man or woman, and you're drawn to narcissists, attracted to them, you may be wondering why, because more than likely you left one and it almost took your soul, crushed your soul. It felt like your soul was completely disconnected from your body. I've heard so many things from past clients that I've worked with who've described the experience of having been with a narcissist and decided you needed some time off from dating or whatever it was, and then entered back into another unhealthy, manipulative, narcissistic, toxic relationship. So if you feel that you're drawn to these types of people and you're wondering why, what are the 4 reasons or what are the top reasons that you're attracted to narcissists, and realizing that you had this pattern of being attracted to specific people with certain personality traits and are wondering why, or wondering how to change that, how to fix that, or how to break that, because you do want a healthy, loving relationship. You do want to have a family and live happily ever after. You want the Cinderella Disney princess ending, right? You are not going to get that with narcissists. What you're going to get is feeling like a complete shell of yourself, completely broken, completely lost. You're more than likely going to be in financial trouble and debt, and your life is going to be wrecked and ruined for a long time, particularly if you do not break the habit and pattern of being attracted to them and allowing them to come into your life. So with that said, let's get into this. So if you are someone who has a pattern of narcissistic, unhealthy, manipulative, toxic relationships, and you have no idea why, I'm glad you're here. Again, I am an expert in this. It is unfortunately, well, actually, fortunately, my past and my old patterns and ways of being, until I realized that it was me. That was the common denominator. Now use transformational healing to guide people very, very quickly into using their unconscious mind to reprogramming, rewiring, completely transforming every aspect of their lives, particularly the types of relationships that they involve themselves in. So there's so much more to it. We're going to get into that in this video. So if you have ever met someone who was so amazing, so incredible at the start, they're charismatic, they're charming, and they're so into you. They make you feel like a king or queen, and you feel like, wow, I have been manifesting this. I have found the one. I have found my soulmate. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. Let's just have more of this yummy, juicy goodness as quickly as possible. And you realize as soon as you get hooked, the term in the narcissistic world is called baiting. As soon as you get baited and hooked onto that person starts becoming controlling, manipulative, and so critical of you. You're wondering why you get into relationship like that, and realizing that that's the pattern of relationships that you get into, and are thinking, why in the hell do I attract such selfish people like this? What is it? What is going on? Well, the first step into understanding why you are attracting narcissists and selfish people like narcissists in the first place, because after that is how you begin changing the way that you enter into relationships, the type of relationships that you get into in the first place, because your pattern of attracting selfish, narcissistic people leaves you feeling hopeless about maybe potential partners in the future. It leaves you feeling hopeless about having someone. Many people have a fear of being alone, so they stay in those types of relationships. But the truth is that you can break that pattern by reprogramming and rewiring your mind, which changes everything about your life, specifically in the realm of relationships that you allow and don't allow. And obviously, if you're entering it back into the dating world, it changes everything about that. Those red flags, you no longer think, oh, look, a parade, let's go check it out. You begin to realize, no, that means run. And I have so much self-worth, self-belief, self-trust, and self-confidence that I know that that's a parade. I'm not going over there because I know how that parade ends, right? So by adjusting the way that you approach different things, right? After doing the inner work to heal those inner unhealed wounds that are causing you to be attracted to people like this in the first place, you can weed out people with those types of personality traits so much faster, and then have the space to attract in the type of person that you deserve and desire, the type of person who would make an ideal lifetime partner, who you can live happily ever after with. Last year alone, I had 5 people that I've worked with get engaged and get married to incredible people. And it's so, I mean, that's, I can't promise that, but when you commit to yourself to doing the inner work to heal and reprogramming and rewiring your unconscious mind, specifically after having been in a narcissistic relationship or a series of number of them, your whole world changes. So there's lots of different types of selfish people out there, but the one who is the worst is the narcissist. And yes, this term and label gets thrown around pretty loosely. You think, well, this person's kind of being selfish, so they're a narcissist. Or this person, they didn't call me back right away when they said they would. They're a narcissist. That is not what I'm talking about here. So if you're unsure, if you're dating a narcissist or have been with narcissists, we're going to dive into what it looks like to be with a narcissist. So a narcissist is someone who covers up their extremely fragile egos, their little itty bitty egos, their fragile self-esteem with this heightened sense of their own importance, along with this unquenchable need for attention, right? It's like they say, I'm thirsty, you give them a drink, and that's not enough. It's never ever good enough for them. So they've got that same mentality when it comes to the need for attention. And it doesn't matter. So that term is actually called supply, and it doesn't matter the many sources of supply. It's not just in personal relationships, and it's in money, it's in community level involvement, how people look at them. It's just everything is about attention, right? Narcissists have an inflated sense of self-importance. They think that this is the world and this is them. The world revolves around them. They have this inflated sense of self-importance and are highly, highly sensitive to any criticism. And they lack emotional empathy. They have cognitive empathy, so they get it cognitively. They mirror the people that they're with to hook them in and reel them in so that they can use and abuse and manipulate them. But they're highly sensitive to any criticism or feedback. If you point out any flaws or any areas that they need improvement, things that they did wrong, expect World War III. And they don't care. They do not care that they hurt you. Do they know they hurt you? Yes, they know they hurt you. I hear that question and see it floating around all the time. Do they know that they hurt me? Yes. Do they care that they hurt you? Hell no. They could give a flying you know what about who they hurt. So in the beginning of the relationship with the narcissist is called the love bombing phase. It's intoxicating. They put all of their focus and attention on you. You get 1,000,000% of it. Yeah, there's more than 100% because that's what they give you, or at least that's the perception and how it feels. They pull out the charm card, the charisma card. I mean, they are the sunshine that lights your world, or at least that they make you feel and believe that. They make you feel so incredible about yourself. If you're a woman, they make you feel like a queen. If you're a man, they make you feel like the king, like King Daddy. What was their life like before you were in it? That's what they make you feel like. Wow, like everything in my life is now so incredible, and it's all because of you. How can I live without you, right? And if you reject a narcissist, right, you can expect the smear campaign. You can reject them, specifically in the dating phase. You can expect them to come on so much stronger. Like that's when they up the ante, because they are not going to lose you as supply, because as their supply, they get to use, abuse, and manipulate you. So you're like the oxygen that they breathe. And if you reject them, it's like you're cutting off their supply to oxygen. So they become stronger in their reaction, stronger in their love bombing, especially when they feel that you're pulling away and or that you're rejecting them. So if you begin to see this control and the manipulation and start to go, no, something's off, something's wrong here. I'm starting to see the red flags. I'm telling my friends and family about the stories and the experiences with them. And they're going, oh my God, what the hell are you doing with this person? You need to break up with them. You need to cut it off. You need to leave. You can expect them to come on even stronger. So this is why people say it's difficult to leave, but we're going to get into that even more. So you begin to pull back the interest, right? And that fuels their need to win you over and pull out every card, all the stops, whatever it is. You like to travel? Okay. You said you've always wanted to go to Greece. I know we've only gone, on trips locally. I've taken you to Hawaii. Now let's go to Greece. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, really? They love me. They care about me. They're taking me to Greece. They're filling my deepest dreams and desires. Okay. Because selfishly, you want that experience as well. And so you engage and allow yourself to experience it with the narcissist. So the narcissist has you in all of their sights and will do anything and everything. They will do whatever it takes to sweep you off your feet. And there are no ends to that. However, as soon as they reeled you back in, gotten you back exactly where they want you, they again become moody, impatient, belittling, entitled, controlling, and dismissive. They don't want you to outshine them. They don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to win in life. They'll say that they want you to, and they'll say that they will love you and support you through that. And every step of the way, they will knock you down just a little bit. As soon as they see you rising and shining brighter, they will knock you down just to keep you in their place. That's part of the manipulation, the game, and the control in this. And because they lack empathy, narcissists will never, ever see your side of things. They'll tell you that they get it, that they understand you, and they know that they are not perfect and they need to change things about them. But, you're not perfect either, right? But because they lack empathy, they will actually never see your side of things. They will discount all of your experiences, everything you share with them, and they will discount your feelings. They only have one way of seeing the world, and that's their way. And it's their way or the highway. They're incapable of loving and supporting anybody because they don't love and support themselves. They have deep and dark inner wounds and secrets, and they are not going to expose those because to them, that would be being vulnerable. And to them, vulnerability is seen as weakness. It's like they can smell it out, and they will use those manipulative strategies to keep you under their control, to keep you, when you're starting to rise, to knock you down. You're starting to rise, knock you down. And you can begin to believe that it's your fault. That's the gaslighting me, right? They gaslight you until you end up gaslighting yourself. And you begin to believe that it's your fault that they are behaving badly and that you deserve the way that they're behaving towards you. That's what they want you to believe. And when they can get you to believe it, they've got you. They've got you on the hook. So you begin to gaslight yourself. I have an incredible free masterclass and training. If you want to learn more about the archetypes of people who have been emotionally abused, I invite you to go through that, get instant access to it, and you will learn more about these archetypes as well. So this one that I'm talking about specifically is the gaslighter you. So this is where you end up questioning whether you did something wrong, and you end up questioning your own self-confidence, your own self-esteem begins to deteriorate, begins to fade away. You wonder what happened to you because you used to be this confident person, a person who was high achieving, successful, and you get with a narcissist and it's like all of that just fades away. You have no idea where it went. It went away within the relationship with that narcissist. And then you begin questioning and believing them that you did something wrong and that you deserve this treatment because narcissists are such dark souls. You're going to wonder, why do I keep attracting people like this? And that's hopefully what this video helps you highlight and see and understand. So what makes you so attracted to people who treat you like this and who would do this to you? Because more than likely, you're not like that at all. You're the opposite of that, right? And you may be thinking, well, yeah, opposites attract, but I don't want to attract narcissists anymore. I'm so tired of it. I feel like there's barely anything left of me. So the first step is to understanding why you keep attracting narcissists and to turn the question around. Look at yourself in the mirror so that you can better understand yourself and what's really going on. I firmly and fully and truly believe, because I've gone on the journey myself and I've taken hundreds of other people through this process of healing after having been with a narcissist, that understanding them better does nothing to help you. You really need to understand you better so that you can truly and more deeply understand what's really going on. So you do not have some hidden magnet inside of you that like literally you walk down the street and then narcissists get stuck to you, right? That's not the way that it works. On the surface anyway. So all of this is really unconscious programming. We're going to get into that in a little bit. And we're going to get into what's really going on inside of everyone. And here's the thing. You do attract what's familiar, right? You're not going out there and searching, okay, I'm ready to date. I'm ready to get into another relationship. Where's the next narcissist? That's the one, right? You're not saying that consciously, but unconsciously, you're attracting what's familiar. So you have unconscious or subconscious or inner programming. I use all three of those words interchangeably. You have subconscious programming that lights up when you come into contact and experience a narcissist, that say that there's different potential for people to be in a relationship with. And there's, let's say, 5 of them. There's one narcissist, and there are 4 that are quote unquote regular, normal people. That narcissist, when you meet each one of these people, and they're all potential partners, they've all got great qualities, they all check your little boxes of things that you want in a relationship and a partnership. That narcissist seems to shine brighter than the other people that you meet because of your, not theirs, because of your unconscious programming. Something inside of you, something unconsciously, a seed that was planted a long time ago, something that feels familiar. It feels like home. It feels warm. It feels cozy, or cozy. That was cozy and cuddly combined. So it feels cuddly and it's so familiar. Something inside of you, inside of your inner programming, recognizes this narcissist quality, and it's almost like this inner internal alarm goes off. This is the one. This feels so familiar. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's the one. Dismiss the other 4 and choose that one. And it's the narcissist. Why? Well, because everything about them is familiar. And I can say this with complete certainty because I've experienced several narcissistic relationships. On the outside, they all look vastly different. Like if you were to see a portrait of my past resume of people I've been with, they all look so different, but internally they were all the same. So your mind has this alarm that goes off that says, this is familiar, this is familiar. So the problem is that your unconscious mind doesn't distinguish between, oh, this is familiar, and it doesn't mean it's good for you, or these 4 that would actually be good for you are unfamiliar. Instead of asking yourself the question, why do I attract narcissists? You're better off asking, what is it about these men that feel familiar to me? These 4, we'll call them nice guys, are unfamiliar to you. I mean, yeah, they'd be good prospects and partners, but they don't have that same feeling as this one. That's because that's the one that feels familiar to you. And that's the one that's probably the worst for you. So asking, what is it about this person that feels familiar to me? This is where my program, Transforming Past Pain to Present Power, or working one-to-one together even more rapidly and quickly, we get right to the core and right to the root of this and break open that pattern and those habits of thinking and ways of being. So you're not attracting them. You're attracted to them, and you're attracted to them unconsciously. This is why it feels so difficult and often impossible to break until you reprogram, rewire, and change your unconscious programming. The types of people that feel familiar are not going to change. So you can go out and date someone different, and you may find that you attract another narcissist. So here are 4 reasons why you are attracted to narcissists. The top one is pretty obvious. You were raised by a narcissistic parent. This is the most common reason why you are attracted to narcissists as an adult, because you learn and you are programmed in childhood. Your programming in childhood generally happens from 0 to 7. Yes, it continues after that, but that is where the foundation and core of the programming of your unconscious mind is developed. This is where you learn about love. You learn about if it's conditional and the conditions that it's based upon. It's how you learn about, the early interactions, whether you feel safe around that partner or not. And if you don't feel safe, you feel scared, you feel anxious, you feel worried, and you feel like you have to be the caretaker and the adult in that relationship with your narcissistic parent, and you're always walking on eggshells around that narcissistic parent, the same qualities and traits are going to show up in your adult relationships and the people that you choose with as partners. So the dynamic between you and your parents or caregivers, the people that raised you, is what creates the unconscious programming for love. And that shows up in almost all of your relationships throughout your life. And you find that even these 4 good people, you reject them. No. That's not real love feels like. Real love feels confusing and chaotic. And it feels like I need to serve and serve and serve and never receive or be given anything good back in return. That's that unconscious programming at work and at play. So while your relationship with your parents is not a romantic one, or if you were raised by grandparents, you're not dating your grandparents, it is your first love relationship. Your caregivers, your parents, whoever raised you, those are the first people that you experience love with. So it's your first love relationship. So as a little child, we all have that need. That's actually the most important need that we have as a child, is the need for love. It's greater than a need for food. It's greater than a love or a need for water. I mean, we need love. There are studies out there that say that if a little child is not held and not loved, they won't make it. They won't live. So it's our greatest need. And that's our first love relationship, is with our caregivers. So if you feel loved, if you feel safe, then you survive. And your parents or caregivers are the source of that love and that safety, and thus are the source of survival. Some of us barely make it out alive, especially if you were raised by narcissistic parents, but that's where that unconscious programming is developed. So since your parents, if you're a little child, they're like gods to you. I mean, you look up to your parents, whether you know it or not. Whether if you're an adult now, I don't look up to my parents. I never want to be like them. They were this, they were that. When you were a little child, you were not saying those things. You had a different story. You did. And when you were raised by narcissistic parents, you did not see their inability to parent or their faults as a parent as their fault. You internalized and interpreted it as your fault. A child takes full responsibilities for their parents' flaws. Their parents are gods, they can do no wrong. And that child internalizes that as their fault. They're not good enough. They're sorry. They fell short. They pulled the short end of the stick. They need to change something about themselves in order to receive that love from their parents. And because narcissistic love is so conditional, that's what that child believes that it deserves. And the same thing is true in adult relationships with narcissists. So that child, you begin to believe that you're the problem and there must be something wrong with you. So people who are in narcissistic relationships and children raised by narcissists have this ingrained subconscious belief that there's something wrong with them. Okay? That's so key to understanding. And it does not take decades and lifetimes worth of therapy to change that programming. That's what I specialize in. We do that very, very quickly. So any belief that you take on or any strategy to feeling loved and feeling safe as a child, you take into your adult life. So children with narcissistic parents grow up to be perfect matches. It's like a puzzle piece that fits together perfectly with romantic partners who are also narcissists. Remember, it just feels familiar. That inner light goes on, ding, that's the one, because it feels so familiar. The relationship feels so familiar to you and so strangely comfortable. It's uncomfortably comfortable. So you have trouble. You have a difficult time keeping yourself out of that toxic situation or telling yourself, oh, they're not good for me, because they begin to feel like a drug, because they are, right? Because they were when you were a child growing up. That's a pattern that was developed. And that same pattern applies to people who experience abuse, who experience bullying in school, or experience childhood trauma. That's why my program covers all of that. And that familiar pattern and internal dynamic plays out in all your relationships, specifically in romantic relationships. Those are the most revealing. So why are you attracted to narcissists? Because possibly you were raised by one, or you developed these really, really good strategies for accommodating their needs and their moods and their selfish and uncontrollable behaviors. You are so good. Like, you know exactly what to do in that situation. So much so that you call it normal. I know that's crazy, but that's what happens because you're constantly in this battle of trying to win love from a narcissist. And when you don't get it, oh, I've got a strategy for that. Boom, let me try this. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, don't worry, I've got another one. I came fully prepared and completely equipped because you had to prepare and equip yourself in childhood in order to make it through and survive. And so you did. So you got a whole bag of tricks to pull out and use with the narcissist who's actually completely incapable of loving you. But that's what happens. So the second reason why you're attracted to a narcissist is because, and this is where the term empaths come from, you have an overdeveloped sense of empathy. And again, this is established and rooted in childhood. So it's important to understand and relate to other people's feelings in order to develop healthy relationships. And it's important to be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, to feel what they feel and allow you to connect with them and understand them, not judge them or shame them, and to really understand where they're coming from, right? But having the ability to tune into another person's needs and desires does play into the narcissist's needs to be the center of attention. They know that about you. They know that about empaths. And that's why they work so hard to keep you, because then you become their source of supply. And that plays right into their needs. And the need is to control, manipulate, deceive, and be the center of attention. For them, to be the center of your world. And while you're probably a person who's very, very good at valuing your partner's point of view, that narcissistic partner is not ever able to reciprocate the empathy. They'll fake it like they do, and they'll pretend like they do, but that's cognitive empathy. That's not real, genuine, true empathy. In fact, they use that against you. It's like a card that you give them and they put in their pocket, and then boom, they pull it out later and wipe all of your cards out. That's an analogy for what that actually is like. They're not ever going to truly reciprocate the empathy that you give them. They, in fact, use it against you later to hurt you even further. So they're going to constantly be asking you to see their side of things and then discount your experience and your emotions and feelings connected to it. So they play the victim when they're being called out on things, because of course you're going to try that, right? Oh, I'm going to get them to see. They're going to laugh in your face or just laugh secretly and then get really upset and angry and blow up at you. So they're going to play the victim when they're called out on it. And they're going to even more than likely attack you for criticizing them when you didn't mean it as a criticism in the first place, but that's what they're going to do. And if you're someone who calls yourself an empath or relates to having overdeveloped empathy, you're going to realize that you tend to give others the benefit of the doubt. And you truly do believe that they have the best of intentions and that they just need more love from you, and more love will fix and solve and change all of these problems. That's not what works with a relationship with a narcissist. This causes you, the person with an overdeveloped sense of empathy, to easily forgive and forget and move on and just forget about it, and to forgive their bad behavior and assume that that narcissist isn't against you or isn't trying to manipulate you when that's the very thing that they're doing. So it's almost like you're living this life of just dreaming and sleeping, and you're like, why can't I just wake up and see this? So I hope that videos like this and the others that I have help you do that, because this plays right into their strategy by allowing them to take advantage of you and your kind heart. So why do you attract narcissists? Well, because of your empathy. It leaves you vulnerable to their narcissistic manipulation. I'm not saying that it's bad and you should just go out there and become stone cold and completely shut off your heart and be an a-hole. But just when you heal those inner unhealed wounds, you can use that empathy and share it with people who reciprocate it, the other four in that example I was talking about. So another reason why you're attracted to narcissists is because you tend to sacrifice your needs to earn love. Okay. Your needs, out the window. Where'd they go? I don't know, but I don't need them. Okay. I just want to earn your love. And you tend to sacrifice your needs in order to earn the love. Again, the love is conditional. So you can't sacrifice your needs and have a healthy relationship. Do you want to know why? Because anger and resentment develop, and those are roots that are big, thick, and strong and run deep and will ruin a relationship. And there will be no space for health in that relationship. So it's a very codependent strategy that leaves you feeling empty. It leaves you feeling a void inside yourself and wondering constantly, and leads to anxiety and panic attacks and sheer overwhelm. And feeling like your life is being controlled and dominated by someone else, and wondering if your partner is ever going to reciprocate that. So if that's you, right, it will lead you to narcissistic relationships if you sacrifice your needs to earn love, or maybe not narcissistic, but very unhealthy ones, very unsatisfying relationships, because narcissists do not reciprocate it. They don't have it to give. You can only give what you have to give, and they don't have love for themselves. So they don't have it to give to you or anyone else in their lives, right? Because you can only not love another person to the degree that you love yourself. If they love themselves 1 degree, they're only ever going to be able to love you 1 degree. But some people say, oh, no, that's the thing that they love most in the world. Absolutely false, so untrue. If you believe that, you need to do more research. Narcissists actually do not love themselves. They project that they do. They want you to believe that they do, because if they have this perception that they're the greatest thing ever and they love themselves and they're so accomplished, successful, and achieved, then they will get you to believe and buy into that lie as well. So narcissists just continue to receive love or receive until you have nothing left to give. They take everything away from you. That's why they feel like when you're with them, your soul has literally been sucked out of your body, because they never give back, right? So it feels like you're trying to pour from an empty cup and your cup has a crack and a leak in the bottom of it. And you're like, I have nothing left to give. There's literally nothing left of me. There's nothing left of me emotionally, mentally, spiritually, energetically, oftentimes financially, they drain you, and you feel like a shell of a person. You can feel completely empty and void inside. That's exactly how it feels to be in a relationship with a narcissist. And they wring you out, they wring you dry again and again and again and again. So maybe that's when you break up and then you go away, then they hook and bait you back in, they hoover you back in, and then they wring you out dry again. You'll see the pattern of the relationship taking place. And it's not a very good one. And it's one that you want to get out of. And in order to get out of it, you need to get out of your own pattern of being in that kind of relationship. That's what we can get to either by working one-to-one or going through my program, Transforming Past Pain to Present Power, because it's focused on rewiring, reprogramming, and changing your unconscious beliefs, your unconscious thoughts that you have about yourself, and it completely changes every area of your life. So there you go. How are we feeling so far? All right. So narcissists, how do they see you then? Right? Because they tell me that they see me as this incredible person. They love me so much that I am the greatest thing ever. But all the while, you're finding yourself feeling angry and feeling resentful for them that your partner doesn't consider your needs, but they're telling you that they love you more than anything in the whole world. So why are they treating me like this? The narcissist sees you as a solution to their needs and is unable, truly unconsciously and unable to understand that you require something from them. Anytime you tell them that you need something from them and you want a healthy relationship, literally, they don't understand it. In their mind, well, just being with me should be enough for you. And I'm with you, aren't I? I used to hear that from the ex all the time when he would come home from like week-long binges of drinking and cheating. I came home, didn't I? And in their mind, they truly believe that should be enough for you. I'm sorry. That's not a healthy relationship. Actually, I'm not sorry because it's not. But in their mind, they truly believe that just being with you should be enough for you, should completely satisfy you and fill your cup. So if you're wondering, why am I attracted to narcissists? Well, your strategy of overgiving and sacrificing your needs feeds the narcissist. And they feel satisfied without having to give you anything in return. It's like, watch this. It's a fun game for them. And the fourth reason why you're attracted to narcissists, again, is connected to your unconscious beliefs and your unconscious programming and your lack of self-confidence and self-worth. But the belief, you do not believe. And you may say that, yes, I do. I know that I deserve better than this. Trust me, this person, blah, 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 blah. And then you go tell your story of abuse. That's not what I'm talking about here. You unconsciously do not believe that you're worthy of love. You don't. And I can say that by looking right at you, because that's the belief that I used to have as well. And I wouldn't have believed it. I was successful. I was accomplished. I would have achieved. I had multiple degrees. I had lived in many places, many states. I had many different careers and money in the bank. I'd owned homes and cars. And I would tell you, oh, I believe that I'm worthy of love. But unconsciously, I didn't. Right? That's what I call the F me, the one who likes to fake it, the one who feels like a fraud, right? Because on the outside, they look like they have it all together and they should have it all together. And you're trying to unrealistically live up to these expectations that other people have set on you. And deep, deep, deep down to your core and at your core and root, you don't believe that you're worthy of love. So you settle and you accept narcissistic love. And it completely shatters your self-esteem, your self-worth, your confidence. So it leaves you with low self-esteem, which leads you being vulnerable to narcissistic relationships. And at the beginning of the relationship, when they're love bombing you, you feel overwhelmed by how much attention you're getting and you're receiving. You're thinking, oh my gosh, they see my worth, they see my value, they know that I'm worthy of love. That's why the beginning of the relationship with them begins so intensely. And the narcissist uses their appearance of self-confidence, again, keyword, hello, bright lights, appearance of self-confidence. They actually lack it. But there's an appearance of self-love, and they use that to take advantage of your lack of confidence. Okay? Do you see? Do you see the connection? In the beginning, they show up and they rescue you, and they're your hero, and you're Cinderella, and they're the little prince that comes in and swipes you off your feet, promises that you'll live happily ever after with them. And they appear to be the soulmate and the one that you've been praying and dreaming about. And they appear to be the answer to all your prayers. And as the relationship continues, they begin to use your lack of self-esteem and your belief that you're unworthy and undeserving of love against you. They don't do this like right away overnight. They do it slowly. They do it subtly. They chip away at your confidence. They say comments that you're like, wow, that Really? Where did that come from? And that's their way of controlling you. And that's their way of keeping you, because they don't do it in one big bang. They do it slowly. And so you question it and you think, And they know that anytime they want to, they can just turn their attention back around to you and you'll respond accordingly, because it's called breadcrumbing. They put out little breads of crumbs of bread, and you're starving, you're hungry, you want the whole loaf, and they just sit there and pick at it and laugh. Look at you, just, oh my God, you're ridiculous. That's the term breadcrumbing. That's where it comes from, because they know that they can just turn their attention back to you at any time they need to, and you'll go, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Oh, and that you'll respond and react accordingly. So if you're wondering, why am I like this? Why am I attracted to people like this? I hate the way they treat me. It doesn't feel good. Well, the key component is because of your self-esteem, your self-confidence. And on the outside, on Instagram, you can, oh, I'm so confident. Look at me. Look at the selfie. I'm such a hot body. But you truly lack self-confidence and self-esteem and feelings of self-worth. And you do not, at your core and root, believe that you are lovable. That's one of the main things. And that leaves you susceptible and vulnerable to their manipulations. So you've got unconscious programming and inner wounds that need healing. And until they're healed, you're going to continue to repeat these same cycles and patterns. And those, until healed, leave you open to narcissist manipulation. And you're not doomed to be stuck in this type of relationship forever. I promise you, I'm a living example. Go look at the hundreds of testimonials that I have on my website with other people that I've worked with as well. I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying it so that you know that that life that you want, that you deserve, and you desire is available to you when you commit to changing your unconscious programming. Until then, have fun. Because you can change your standards. You can start dating other people, right? If your last narcissist was broke and they depended on you, you can say, I'm only going to date, people who pay for everything for me. That doesn't mean you're going to get out of dating narcissists, but you can try and change all that on your own, or you can change your own unconscious programming. And then you don't even need to worry about that stuff anymore. So asking yourself, well, why do I attract narcissists? At the conscious level, you can try and figure it out. But until you get to the core and the root of it, you're really not going to truly and deeply understand it. And things may seem to appear better for a time, but then you'll notice you get sucked right back in the cycle and those patterns. So with that, then you can get into loving, lasting relationships once your unconscious programming has been reprogrammed, rewired, and it has been wired into you believing that you're worthy and deserving of healthy love, of love that's reciprocated, and there's a balance and a flow of giving and receiving. So how to change those patterns? Well, let's work together. Like I said, I work one-to-one with clients. I also have an incredibly powerful program. If you're looking for more of a self-guided, self-paced exercise, that includes rapid transformational therapy sessions. It includes healing exercises where you get to the core and the root of your problem. And then obviously tools to implement boundaries, change your distorted thinking patterns, break them, and implement new, powerful, positive ones. And in that, obviously, the foundation of setting, maintaining, and communicating clear, healthy boundaries. That's the key to any relationship. And there's nothing wrong with being empathetic and considerate of others. And those are all wonderful qualities, right? So being a gentle, kind, compassionate person is not a requirement, however, to sacrifice your own needs, to ignore your wants in a loving relationship. And all of that is possible when clear, healthy boundaries are set. But if you have that core belief that you're unworthy of love, you're not going to be able to set clear, confident, healthy boundaries. You're not going to be able to communicate them. You're going to kind of waver and go, well, okay, never mind. I know I said that, but it's just, no, it's fine. It's fine. And then let someone overstep your boundaries. So until you do the inner work, you're not going to find it easy to set clear boundaries. But that's one of the important cornerstones of a healthy relationship. And there's nothing wrong, again, with being a loving person. But if you allow bad behavior to continue, because you're unwilling to set and enforce your boundaries, it leaves that door open and say, come on in, narcissist, come on in, water's fine, right? And I don't want that for you, because I've been there and it's not a fun place to be. And I know that you probably know what the red flags are, because you know what you dismissed in the beginning of the last narcissistic relationship. So being able to set, maintain, and communicate clear, confident, healthy boundaries is is key to any healthy relationship. But the narcissist does not give a flying you know what about those boundaries. They will repeatedly push them, step over them, walk them, crush them, all of those things. So until you have changed that unconscious programming, you're just going to continue to give in when it comes to boundaries. Here's another thing with intimacy. I hear people say this a lot. Oh my gosh, well, Sarah, the sex was so eye rolling good with a narcissist. Okay. Narcissists are very, very quick to rush what's called intimacy. Well, intimacy, actually, when you break it down, it's into me-see. That's why you need to see into yourself and heal those inner core wounds and beliefs that you have about yourself, right? Those thought patterns that you have. Well, it's all my fault. Well, I should have been different. I shouldn't have done that. They were right. No, no, no. All those are fake. All those are false. All those are so untrue. There's nothing wrong with you. And you really, truly need to believe that you don't need to be any different than who you are to receive healthy love. So a narcissist will quickly rush intimacy or having sex. They will quickly rush moving in together and creating this life together. Let's move in, let's get married, let's have babies, let's do the whole 9 yards, whatever it is that you want, I will give it to you. That is false. And that's why it's so fast. Notice false and fast both start with F. That's why it's so fast, because it's false, because it's not true. They want to get in there. They want to control, hook, bait you, manipulate you. They want to rush everything. You'll notice when you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, everything was so fast. That's because that rush, those hormones, those endorphins that you're feeling when you're in love, right? The butterflies in your stomach and all that. Actually, those are not signs of love. Those are signs of danger. They're a warning signal that there's danger ahead. So those really, really healthy, good, long-lasting, loving relationships, those don't happen overnight. Those don't happen on the first, second, or the first few dates. They develop over time. So that first stage of a relationship with a narcissist, the seduction stage, it feels really exhilarating. And because they're just charming. They're so overwhelming with their charm. And you're a target. They put a target on your back, the target of attention. Imagine like Cupid just shooting that arrow right into the center of the target. Jam, jackpot. They got you. And that's what it feels like with their attention and the love that they give you. So if that's the way that it feels in the beginning of the relationship, warning, red flag. It's not a sign of love. It's a sign of danger. So please do not ignore the red flags. If you're maybe in a narcissistic relationship or kind of wondering what it looks like, dating, getting to know someone and developing a real, true, healthy, loving relationship, it takes time and it takes quality time. Okay. So wait it out, make them prove that they can meet your needs, observe them closely. How are they with other people? Are they always in conflict or disagreement with other people? Or are they capable of compromising and truly empathizing and understanding and seeing other people's point of view? Because they're not just like this with you, they're like this with other people as well. But here's the thing, a lot of them are very covert and a lot of other people think that this person is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And so you begin to believe that as well. And then you get into a relationship with them and behind closed doors, things completely change. Here's the biggest rule of thumb. Actions speak louder than words. So if their actions are not in alignment and not matching with their words, choose to listen to their actions over their words, right? Because talk is cheap. Oh my gosh, is it cheap? And they will tell you any and everything they think that you want to hear in order to be with you. Okay. So look at their actions. Okay. If there's anything you take from this video, please take that. And please, 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 from my heart to yours, be patient. Do not rush into a relationship quickly. Okay. Because that's what they want. So if you require that you take it slow, you're going to see them go, because then they're going to think, oh, I don't got this person, right? I haven't got them. They're not taking the bait. If you require that they take it slow, you're going to watch the narcissist go, especially in the beginning of a dating relationship, because they'll think you're a hard target and they're going to leave you and go look for an easier target. Every narcissistic relationship, one that's like, oof, it's fast, it's rush, right? It's false, it's fake. It's not good. So pay attention to the thoughts and feelings that person inspires in you, right? If you find that you're in a relationship with someone and you are gaslighting yourself, you're replaying conversations and you're thinking, wait a minute, oh, well, maybe they were right. Maybe I should have done that differently. And you're second guessing constantly, you're questioning things, big red flag, right? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling worried? Are you feeling down? Are you feeling heavy? Are you feeling depressed after being with this person, right? Are you feeling high and then low and then high and then low again? Or are you feeling like you're loved and supported, right? And be wary of that as well. That's right. Take it slow. If you feel anxious, if you feel insecure, if you feel like you're starting to criticize yourself, that's not a good sign, right? How you feel after you are away from your partner, that's why they don't really like to be away from you a lot, is because they don't want you to think, they don't want you to have that downtime, that reflection time. But when you have it and you're away from your partner, if you feel smothered, if you feel crushed, if you feel like, whoa, I need some space, and they never give it to you, that's not a good sign. If you're obsessively thinking about that person, or you're expected to respond to the 5,000 text messages that you get right away, and if you don't respond right away, you get even more, and you're like, whoa, oh my gosh, I told you I was at a meeting. I told you I was at work. I told you I was at lunch with my girlfriend, with my guy, whatever. And they're just bombarding you and you're not feeling good. You're feeling anxious. That's a warning sign. Okay. A loving, healthy relationship leaves you feeling happy, leaves you feeling content, leaves you feeling curious. Of course, you want to see them, but it's not the same when it's with a narcissist. So if you're questioning whether or not your feelings are valid, that's a big warning sign that something is going on. And if you try and talk to them about it, they're going to criticize you. Another big red flag. So make a request to that person, see how they react. Right? What's their response? They're not going to be interested in meeting your needs, or they're not going to be interested in following through with meeting your needs. Again, talk is cheap. They'll tell you that they will, but they won't follow through. So if there's lack of action and all words, all talk, big red flag. So pay attention to their actions, not only their words, when you ask for them to do something for you. Did they get critical? Did they get defensive? Did they get angry? Are they suddenly unavailable and something came up? Did they argue with you? Did they downplay your feelings? Did they diminish your feelings? Did they make you feel sorry for sharing and expressing your feelings? Because the narcissist, what they do is they see your needs in competition with their own needs. So there's your needs and there's their needs, and they're always going to trump their needs with yours because they see them as a competitor. It shouldn't be in a healthy relationship. So again, all of this leads into rebuilding that foundation of your confidence, that inner programming that develops your confidence, that unconscious programming, because your confidence is shattered when you're with a narcissist. So, right, we're not born just feeling whoa, completely confident, right? That's built, that's developed over time. That's rooted in the relationship we have with our first love relationship, with our parents, with our caregivers. So if you're not born feeling confident or feeling secure, then that needs to develop, right? We learn that through love. We learn that through depending on other people. And the initial people we depend on is our caregivers. So self-confidence doesn't just develop out of thin air. It comes from the programming that you have internally about yourself, your unconscious programming. It also comes from actions, your actions. Are you doing something to change your internal programming? If you realize you're stuck in these series of relationships with narcissists, if you're growing your confidence, right? The fastest way you can do that is reprogram and rewire your unconscious beliefs and then take action on those, right? If you've wanted to lose the weight that you gained when you were in the narcissistic relationship because your emotions were all over the place, and every time they're all over the place, you turn for a box of Oreos. Okay, well, doing the inner work to change your unconscious programming and then taking action, like getting on your bike, going to yoga class, going for a walk, all of those things. That action is going to make you feel better. So there's opportunities, right? If you always wanted to, I have one client who was an artist, and she was so scared to put her work out there because she was afraid of the judgment and the criticism and what other people would say about her and her artwork. After we worked together, she's got a thriving online art store now through Etsy. So doing something creative or stepping outside of your comfort zone, it's so much easier once your inner unconscious programming has transformed, has shifted, has changed. And now, even though you may not be sure, you now fully believe yourself and you know that you're worthy of being loved, and you feel confident to just do it, right? To just do it. So you can do almost anything that you want, anything that you desire, that you want to set your mind to, and you can actually take action towards it so much more easily than you can and when you're still running off that old, outdated, damaged programming. So again, working one-to-one is about healing that damaged programming, reprogramming, rewiring it. The past pain to present power program completely focuses on that as well, but over the span of 12 weeks. So again, start off by making this agreement with yourself, this promise to yourself, to commit to yourself, to healing, to doing this inner work, and knowing that every day is a new day, right? And if you mess up, if you fall down, it's okay. Part of the journey is getting back up and focusing on what's truly important to you, focusing on what really matters, having compassion for yourself, just as much compassion for yourself as you had for the narcissist and others who treated and abused you that way. So that's really difficult to do with that old, damaged, outdated programming, but it becomes so much easier when you put that first, to focus on what's really important, what really matters, especially if you want to get into a healthy, loving relationship. Okay. Because there are core components and ingredients to that. And one of them, again, like I said earlier, is loving yourself, because you can only love another to the degree that you love yourself. And when your self-confidence and everything about you has been shattered by a narcissist, it feels like there's a very, very small piece of you left that has life in it. So rebuilding and repairing that so that you can love another person again, someone who reciprocates that love. So I would love to talk to you one-to-one if you're interested in working together. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope that you have loved us going over the reasons that you're attracted to narcissists and understand more about how to change your pattern of being attracted to narcissists. So again, you can find more information in the description and the links below this video, and I will talk to you very, very soon. I love creating videos like this to share with all of you guys, but more than that, I love working one-to-one with people and seeing people completely transform and change inside of our program. So I invite you to find out more about all of that and reach out if you have any questions. All right, guys, have a beautiful day and goodbye for now.